Ever since we launched the big update in December, I started a fresh Campus 4 version. Which in theory sounds great, but a lot of players are really upset about this decision. I want to work on permanent regarding the mini update. If I'm being for real, all I want is for Royale High to find its footing again. Maybe this year things will get better, but as of right now, everything feels uncertain.
No, I can't laugh yet. I've got to hold it in.
Welcome back, y'all. So Royale High randomly released Campus 4 last week, and I don't know about y'all, but I was flabbergasted. I remember Barbie mentioning the Campus release coming in a couple of weeks, but I didn't expect it to be out that soon. Now, when it first came out, it was only available for players level 500 and higher. So of course, I started grinding for hours and hours, non-stop, teleporting back and forth, putting myself through all this suffering, and then the next day Campus 4 was available for all players.
Oh, okay.
Now, I know some former Royale High players are watching like, whatever, it's probably a flop. But I'm gonna be honest, y'all, this new update is really good.
She's really good.
And if y'all have seen my previous Royale High videos, y'all know exactly how I feel about the state of the game and the community. But I can honestly say that this is probably the best update that's come out in years. Like something shifted or we're in a different timeline because Royale High is peak right now. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. There are so many current and former players that are actually really impressed with the new campus and are excited to see what the future of the game will be like. With that being said though, there's still a lot of issues that need to be addressed. The new campus is definitely a foot in the right direction, but without changes regarding communication, listening to the community and more, the future of Royale High could continue down the wrong path. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to review Campus 4, so warning, there will be personal opinions in this. However, I do want to mention that the new school is still in beta, so of course it will have some issues here and there. We'll also discuss the community's reaction to the new school and go over common complaints I've been seeing floating around. Before we start, please do not spread hate towards the devs or anyone mentioned in this video. Please be very demure, very mindful in the comments. Without further ado, here's my review of Royale High Campus 4. Let's start off by talking about the campus design. This is actually something I've seen the community split on. Some players think it's cute and they love the mermaid vibes of it, and other players say they don't like the aesthetic and that it's overstimulating. Personally, I feel like the campus itself looks good. Honestly, what I feel is more important is the organization of the campus. Because at the end of the day, even if a campus looks amazing and beautiful, if it's not organized, I'ma hate it. Which is how I kind of feel about Campus 3. I don't really like the setup of where everything is. I don't know, it seems a little bit random, but with Campus 4, I feel like the location of everything makes sense. I feel like this is a huge upgrade compared to the previous Campus 4. The biggest difference between the two is that everything is like in one building that's connected together rather than being separate buildings. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I first started playing on the new campus, I was so confused, and I know I'm not the only one. I kept seeing posts online of people being like, do y'all have a map? Like, I have no idea where anything is. But after a couple of hours, I was able to figure out where everything was. And to be honest, I had fun exploring and discovering new locations. Also, something else that I'm gonna put in this category is the music. It's way too good. Like, whoever composed it knew what they were doing, especially the night music. Like, it's so calming but also magical. That alone makes me love the campus so much more. Overall, I'll give the campus design an 8 out of 10. Now moving on to the UI. In my opinion, I feel like the new player menu is so organized and it's way better than the one from Campus 3. I love the addition of the locker and dorm button. It's super convenient and it helps me out a lot. I legit never remember where my locker is or my dorm, so this always comes in clutch. I also love that they added a hunger, hygiene, and energy bar at the bottom, which if I'm being honest, we really need that in Campus 3. Maybe one day they'll add it, but I don't know, y'all. I also like that now your phone, diary, and powers are all in the same area. I don't know why, but I don't like where the phone is located in Campus 3, so I love that they changed it. Also, the most important addition is the cloud cache. It's way easier now to know how much you have and how much you're collecting as you play. Now, the one thing that still needs a lot of work, and I don't know if they're ever gonna fix it, is the shop. I really dislike how disorganized it is. And also the way the pictures are stacked up for the toys, it's like, what is going on? It just feels all over the place. But what I really want them to do is organize the items better. I personally feel like we need a separate section for tops. And the reason I say say that is, we have a section for literally everything else, but for some reason tops are in accessories and it's kind of confusing. Alright, I'm finally done yapping about the boring stuff. Now let's get into the gameplay. Let's start off with the class schedule. I love the addition of breakfast and lunch breaks, especially since we don't have a cafeteria in Campus 3. Now my character doesn't have to rely on eating chips from the vending machine all day. I also love that they added a mini fashion competition for breakfast, but the idea is also so funny. Like, I literally haven't even had coffee yet and I had to get in full glam. Could never be me, I fear. And the last thing regarding the cafeteria is the food options. I love how many different things we can choose from, and they all look super tasty too. Now I did see some people online saying that they don't like that all the food options are vegan. Also, no, I don't think that Barbie is trying to force us to be vegan. I honestly don't feel like it's a big deal, but whatever. Now moving on to classes. Starting off with English class, I kinda low-key hate it, but it's not because it isn't fun, it's because I'm dyslexic and I always get them wrong. I think there was like 1 or 2 times where I got an A and didn't miss any of them, but most of the time I'm flopping, I'm not gonna lie. Now in computer class, I eat down. The only thing I don't like about that class is that when you're typing, sometimes it lags out, so you'll miss a letter and then it'll mess you up. Also, side note, I love the aesthetic of the computer class, and if I'm being completely honest, it reminds me a lot of the arcade and Astro Renaissance. And no, I'm not saying that Royale High copied, I'm just saying it gives the same vibe. Go ahead and erase that paragraph for me. Next is Potionology class. This one actually makes me rage quit sometimes, because I swear I'm doing it right and I'm going fast, but I always get dropped. Honestly, it's a cute class, but it's not my favorite. Next we have Archery. I actually love this class so much. I have a lot of fun playing it and I usually get A+. Now let's talk about Swim class. So the first mini game, which I think is called like Spin Splash or something like that, I don't know. Honestly, it's not that bad, but I get annoyed when it starts going super fast as soon as it gets to me. Like, wait a minute, give me 1 second, oh my god. Now the baton swimming race is so annoying. I always get stuck in a ring and I get so mad when I'm jumping on the little obby part and I touch the thing that's going up and down and it bounces me back all the way into the pool. Like, it's sick, I cannot. Now let's talk about Flight class. I actually have so much fun with this class, but I'm so competitive, I always want to be first. But overall, it's enjoyable and easy to play. Now these next ones, I'm not sure if people would consider them classes, but I'm gonna add it because you do get a grade and you get XP from it as well. The first one is Study Hall. I don't really like this one that much, it's kind of boring, and also my memory is super bad. I basically have to say the colors out loud to remember any of the patterns. Now for my least favorite class. I really hate playing basketball. I think every time I play, I can make at least 1 shot, and if I'm lucky, on a good day, I can do 2. But yeah, this is one of those classes that I skip half of the time. Now for my favorite class. I absolutely love the student store mini game. Even though I struggle to find half of the items, I don't know what about it, it's just so fun. And that's pretty much all the classes you get on the schedule. Now in the future, we're supposed to be getting a lot more stuff. Apparently they're gonna add magic fencing, magic powers 101, math, baking, home economics, a mermaid classroom, princess practice, bubble ball, dance studio, and cheerleading practice. Besides classes, there's also a lot of amenities that players can go to. Currently, there's stretch lounge, sleepover tower, jet ski dock, iceberry coffee shop, and in the future, we'll get the workout gym, spa, student kitchen, and the movie room. Also, I'm not sure where to put this, but Astro Outlook is another one. You can only do it at night, but basically when you go on the telescope, you have to look for shooting stars. The more you find, the more XP you get. Now something else that's new to the game is the AFK realm. I'm so happy they added this, it's so convenient. It's basically where you go AFK and you collect cloud cash while you're gone. I wish they didn't put a cap on how much you can get per day, but whatever. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next section where I'll talk about my problems with Campus 4 and what the community has to say about it. So one of the biggest complaints I've seen regarding Campus 4 is that they nerfed the XP for the quests. So for instance, brushing your hair in Campus 3 maybe gives you like 75 XP, but brushing your hair in Campus 4 gives you like 7 XP or something like that. And I completely understand why people are upset, because it's way easier to do quests in this campus compared to Campus 3, but I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they nerfed it. I'm assuming the devs want us to actually play the classes rather than just working on quests. quests, which is fair to be honest, especially after all the work they put into creating those. But the easy solution is to just go to Campus 3 whenever you want to grind. I'm actually surprised they didn't nerf the quest XP on Campus 3. I thought they were going to do it for the whole game, but I'm glad they didn't. And the second most common complaint is that the campus feels cluttered and that it's overwhelming to play in. I've actually seen a lot of people say they preferred the old Campus 4 because the layout was more spaced out. But yeah, basically people don't like how everything is in one location. Now, while I do like the campus setup, I do understand why people are upset about it, especially if you feel like it's overwhelming, because that's how I used to feel with Campus 3 when I first started playing, but eventually I got used to it. Another complaint I've seen is that people feel like the campus was rushed, specifically when talking about classes. I guess some people feel like the classes weren't put together well, or they could have been better, which I do understand for certain classes like basketball. That one I personally feel needs to be improved. But overall, I feel like the classes are fine. And yeah, maybe some of them feel a little short, but I'm thinking that's on purpose. That way they can fit more classes into the schedule in the future. And the final complaint regarding Campus 4 is lag and glitches. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I experience a lot of lag when playing in the computer room, and sometimes I experience lag when I'm playing that Spinner Splash game too. Now I will say it was more laggy when it first released, but now it's a lot better. But let me know in the comments down below if you're experiencing lag. Now besides Campus 4, a lot of players are still upset with Royale High as a whole. One of the biggest complaints I see from players, former and current, is that Campus 3 is not finished yet. And I personally feel like that's a super valid reason to be upset. While I do understand they wanted to focus on Campus 4 for a while, I'm hoping that Campus 3 gets its updates too. I'm hoping this isn't one of those situations where Campus 4 is so successful that they stop worrying about Campus 3 altogether and just leave it as is. I don't think that's what's gonna happen, but hopefully we do get some updates soon. Another complaint is that players want the devs to start focusing on diamond sets again, which I 100% agree with. Hopefully we'll get some more in the future. But yeah, I'm thinking once they're done with the toy sets, they'll go back to diamond sets, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see on that. There's also complaints that the game keeps getting greedier and greedier, which I've talked about in the past. Everything in the game is super expensive, so it requires players to grind a lot, and without game passes, it's really hard to get a lot of diamonds. Now, something I've been seeing on social media besides people praising the new campus is that OG players don't want to return because of everything that's happened. I have seen some players be like, oh, I saw Campus 4, it looks really nice, but I can't play anymore. They feel like it's too late and the damage has been done, which I understand, because if you were playing for years and then you saw the game go downhill, it makes sense to not feel that enthusiastic about its future. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I feel like Campus 4 is the first step in the right direction. But just because Campus 4 was successful, that doesn't mean that Royale High is going to be successful in the long term. Currently, Royale High is making a comeback, but there are so many different factors that need to change in order to keep the game growing. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop on over to the last section of the video. I want to start off by saying no, I'm not a dev, I've never created a game, but as someone on the outside looking in, I feel like I have a good understanding as to what a player might want in order to keep playing the game. This is pretty much player feedback, so I feel like for the game to keep growing, Royale High needs to focus on retaining new players. I've noticed a lot of people joining the game for the first time and getting into it, but it's so hard to want to keep playing when you don't know what you're doing, and it's really confusing when you first start off. Now, Campus 4 kind of fixed that issue because each class tells you exactly what you need to do, but I feel like when it comes to quests, there needs to be a little tutorial or an explanation on how to do it exactly. I know for older players it feels like common sense to know what to do in the game, but as someone who started playing in Campus 3, it was so confusing, oh my god. The next thing that I feel would help the game continue to grow is more consistent updates. I know some of y'all are like, duh. I personally feel like adding a new class every 2 to 3 months would be great. Now, I remember Barbie stating that once Campus 4 came out, she would start focusing on seasonal updates again, so at least that's something to look forward to. The next thing is communication needs to improve. Maybe I'm not on the right platform, but normally I find out things about Royale High through other players on Twitter. I don't know, I feel like we don't really get details regarding the game half the time, but I do understand that people are really toxic over on Twitter, and that's why we don't really get sneak peeks or information like that anymore. Honestly, the main reason why I feel like communication needs to improve is so players can give feedback on the game. game. Maybe the devs are seeing the feedback, but we just don't know. But it would be nice if somebody responded like, oh, okay, I get your feedback, I'll take it into consideration or something like that, which I've seen different developers do with other games. But you know what? Maybe they are doing that, just not on Twitter or wherever I've been. But besides seeing the feedback, it would be good to know that they're actually listening to the community. Honestly, after the thing that happened with Call Me Haley, it kind of came off like they don't want to hear the community say anything negative about the game. And I don't necessarily see it as negative. Most of the time it's just constructive criticism. Now, of course, I do recognize that there's crazy people online who are just very hateful, but I don't feel like it's fair to throw everybody in that same basket, because I have seen people be very constructive and just give feedback on how the game could improve. It shouldn't be seen as, okay, you're just being a hater. And I'm gonna be honest, most of the time I see that from like really loyal players to the game. Like if you're not 100% on board with updates or whatever decision the devs made, super Royale High stance will be like,
you're just a hater. Why are you still playing the game? Stop playing the game.
Whenever I see posts like that, it's actually very off-putting, and then it makes me not want to be in the community anymore. Honestly, y'all, I feel like Royale High still has a lot of potential. Even though some people disagree, I feel like they're very innovative still. With that being said though, there's a lot of new games that are coming out that are super creative and look really good. Specifically Monsterverse and Momo City, which means Royale High is going to have a lot of fierce competition. I don't know what Royale High's goal is at the end of the day. Maybe they just want to focus on the current players they have, but I'm sure they would also love to have more players come in who would love and appreciate the game. Anyways, y'all, that's it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed that little intro I made. It took me like 2 hours, but it was so fun. But yeah, I'm hoping to make more Royale High videos in the future, but don't panic, y'all. I'm still gonna be making Dress to Impress videos. I'm basically just waiting for the update to drop this weekend, which by the way, I will be live on YouTube this Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I will be doing giveaways for Dress to Impress. So hopefully y'all can stop by for a little bit. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about the new campus. Do you love it more than the previous one? Also, do you prefer Campus 3 or Campus 4? And what improvements do you think Campus 4 needs? Okay, bye. See you in the next one. Bye. Okay, bye. See you. Bye.